It is time for our monthly check-in with Adnan Burke of Prime Monday Night Hockey, and he has not had a single game for the past 2 weeks because the guys and the women decided to go over to Italy and play hockey there for international fame and gold and silver and that other medal. So Adnan, you watched yesterday's game with the women, the gold medal between the United States and Canada. Obviously, you were not rooting for the same team that we were rooting for because you are Canadian. As we mentioned earlier, it's only been the United States or Canada winning gold medals for the women. It's 1998 was the first games. It's been 8 instances. Canada has won 5. The United States had won 3. So, as a Canadian, not as a Canadian, that's an actual hockey team. As a Canadian, when you saw Megan Keller score on that deke, what were your feelings?
I was incredibly frustrated and dismayed. And of course, I'm in enemy territory because I was at MLB/NHL Network. And
oh, nice.
Tony Hoffman, one of our great hosts, was wearing his USA jersey. So when Canada was leading 1-0 after 2 for much of the game, I said, better take that jersey off. And then once Hillary Knight scored, I made sure I was cowering in my office, trying to drown out the noise of the cheers and exultation. And I didn't have a good feeling about it. I said, this is not going to end the way we want it to, at least for me and my brethren. So, yeah, USA won. And I said, well, this was expected for somebody who has not been paying attention to hockey. Obviously, we're avid fans, but those who have not been paying attention to women's hockey, USA's been the better team. They have been for a while. This is now 8 straight. Clearly, Canada has to reconfigure what they've been doing. The American women have been the bully and pushed them around. In the round robin, it was a definitive win, which is why I was so pleasantly surprised, quite frankly. I knew we were vast underdogs going into the final. I thought maybe we could pull off an upset, maybe. And when it was 1-0, I was clinging to all hope. But America is the better team. They have been for a year plus. And I will say on a greater level, Roy, I do think it's frustrating for the women's game that there's really only 2 great countries. Like, I think that at least in the men's, you can see upsets. You can see potential surprises. And with what Slovakia has done so far, how great they've been, Finland giving Canada a great test in the semi, et cetera. With the women's, it's either Canada or USA, and I don't think that's great for the women's game. I think it's great if you're an American hockey fan or a Canadian hockey fan, but I don't think it's grown to really kind of grow the game because it's really just 2 teams that are great. Everybody else is okay.
Wow. You actually do sound sad. Jesus. But
he's also focused, Roy. Let's
man.
be very clear. We're all kind of like, I love watching everybody right here. Like, your eyes are on the TV. I imagine Adnan's eyes are over his computer on the TV. My eyes are on the computer. Like, this is getting intense, Adnan. It's 2-1 in the third period right now.
I mean, but you
less stress. Go ahead.
You did mention the women and not seeing enough international. Not seeing enough players internationally. But we do have the PWHL, and it seems to be shining more of a light on players from other countries. I think there is a recent push now that the league is here now. So do you agree with me that there's now in recent years, at least the past 2 years, that there's been more of a push for women's hockey?
Yeah, I think definitely the rise of the PWHL and the fact that the fact that it even exists, Roy, is a good thing, right? To actually have professional women's hockey league is great, and it certainly is an improvement over years past. Obviously they've got a long way to go in terms of getting attention and media reach and money and all that kind of thing. But yeah, listen, our friend Blake Bolden is a big part of our coverage on Amazon Prime. The fact that they've got a game every week is great news. I think they're looking to expand. They're looking to do more things. We've seen the improvement of WNBA. Obviously, they've got their own issues right now with regards to labor. But yeah, I think it's helping women's hockey that the PWHL exists. I'm just saying on an international level, there's only 2 teams that are great, USA and Canada. So it's kind of a criticism in some ways, the men's tournament, that it's like a glorified exhibition tournament, the round robin, and all of a sudden in a single elimination game, anything can happen. One hot goalie, Lucas Dostal, stands on his head, and that team can win. It doesn't mean that Canada or USA aren't great teams, but like in one game, anything can happen. So it kind of feels more like a coin flip. So my point is that in an international tournament, on international hockey, in the men's game, you can point to different teams that are really good. In women's hockey, there's only 2 teams. I don't think that's great for the sport.
No, I know the Swedish women are kind of picking it up of late, and the Chechenians as well. Mm-hmm. I wanted to build on what you were talking about, Adnan, but there's something else I wanted to ask you about before we move on from women's hockey, and it kind of ties into our last conversation when you were on the show, and we were talking about heated rivalry. I don't know if you heard, but there was a women's hockey power couple. One Canadian woman, one American woman. and that power couple may have called it quits before the gold medal game. Carolyn Harvey of the U.S., Daryl Watts of Team Canada.
Wow.
No longer a couple. Apparently, this is they're all over Twitter. The rumors are all over the internet. Excuse me. So I believe it started on TikTok, made its way down. They're trying to confirm this would be fairly significant. Adnan, do we have a real life heated rivalry situation going on here?
It's amazing, David, just how much heated rivalry has taken on a life of its own. I subscribe to Variety magazine, which gets me all my Hollywood gossip and stories and film reviews, etc.
Oh, that rag.
Yeah, that right. I got to read the rags every week, right? Right. I got Variety, I got the Hollywood Reporter, and there was a whole big write-up on the heated rivalry and the success of this little plucky Canadian show, and how it's been so successful despite the fact nobody thought it would be a success, and how only it could be made in Canada and the budget they had for it. And now people are like spawning imitators now. What could be the next heated rivalry? What kind of unparalleled success could it be? And all the changes they wanted to make, they didn't want it to be too graphic and all that kind of stuff. So, listen, heated rivalry has taken on a life of its own. I hope it's not impacting real life couples, but anytime you have a Canadian and American couple, I imagine they get along fairly well. Our countries are fairly similar. Just when it comes to hockey, there can always be a bit of a split. So hopefully cooler heads prevail.
Adnan, help us understand just how much of a national crisis would go down if Canada does not win gold. Whether it be they lose, they bow out to Finland here with 9:50 left, still down 2-1, or if they go on, come back, win, and then get to the gold medal game and lose. Like, is it still a national crisis even if they get to the gold medal game and lose?
No. The bigger the crisis is, the worse the result. So if they lost in the quarters against Czechia, I'm like, oh my God. Like, then I would have been like, thank God I don't live in Canada. Because for the next 4 years, there would have been a hockey summit. What's wrong with Canadian hockey? How can we improve this? And again, like, one game, man, anything can happen. Like, could there be second guessing? Of course. You could say, well, they should have had Matthew Schaefer on the team. They should have had Connor Bedard. Should have had some more offense. You can argue that point right now because it's a struggle to score goals against Finland. Finland should not beat Canada, right? Period. Canada's a better hockey team. The talent they have up and down this roster could have sent 2 Canadian teams. But it happens. That's why we love hockey, right? Could be a hot goalie. Could be a team playing well. Could be a team playing poorly. You want to use the Sidney Crosby excuse? I wouldn't. I mean, he's a great player. He's had a good tournament. He's one of the all-time great players, but he's 38 years of age. He's not Connor McDavid. They've got Nathan McKinnon. They got Macklin Celebrini. There's enough horses to carry that, so I'm not going to use a Crosby excuse. So, honestly, it would be worse the different way it would be, meaning if it's in the quarterfinals, it's like, oh, my God, it's all we're going to hear for 4 years. Finland's pretty bad. I mean, if they lose in the semis to Finland, this is going to be, if not quite crisis, it's definitely going to be a cause for concern and lots of articles written of these guys taking on the chin. If you lose in the gold medal game to America, again, it's painful, but everyone knows that USA is a great team. I mean, if you lose to Slovakia in the gold medal final, again, looking ahead, that would also be painful. So it's varying shades, to be honest with you, but avoiding a quarterfinal loss to Czechia was at least a sigh of relief.
We'll get to Sidney Crosby in a second because that's going to be a major issue for the Penguins after the Olympics. But how do you feel about the 3-on-3 overtime format? They're going with NHL rules on that situation, but with a full period. I honestly, yesterday, do not think that goal happens for the United States if it was 5-on-5. So what say you?
I think it's ridiculous. And I mean, it's been very entertaining, I will say. But, Roy, I was shocked. Like, when I watched the Canada-Czech game, I went, wait, we're doing 3-on-3? Like, I was ready for, like, settle in. This is going to be a classic, NHL playoff overtimes. This could be triple overtime. Keith Primo, Marathon Man, Flyers, Penguins. The fact it was 3-on-3, I'm like, oh, my God. And right away, Marty Natchez is a big opportunity. Binnington's able to stop him. I'm like, man, one shot, one play. This thing could be over. So I think it's laughable, to be quite honest with you, that it could be so quickly done. But the good news is the overtimes have been quick, because 3-on-3, you're going to get a quick result, as we see in the regular season, and we definitely saw that yesterday for USA and Canada.
Well, keep in mind, that's not how T.J. Oshie won the gold medal. I mean, he didn't win it 5-on-5 continuously. He won a shootout.
Yeah.
But
T.J. Oshie also didn't win a gold medal. That was
He won a shootout. Okay, he was TJ Sochi. Let's just chill.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's
should have won a gold medal, okay?
Agreed. Except that Canada team was like the best team ever.
Yeah. But whatever, man. I don't want to even talk about Canada. Go ahead, Dave.
All right, Adnan, let's talk about Canada for a second. You mentioned somebody who's just been knocking my socks off this entire tournament and who I'm very excited to watch for the next 20 years, and that's Macklin Celebrini.
Oh, no.
There it is.
Speak to the... Did he...
Oh, boy.
Who just scored? Canada just scored. That's why everybody's groaning, and Adnan just...
There
That's
it is.
Like, are Badowski and Roy being like, oh, Canada scored, like they're happy for me? Or they're like, oh, Canada scored.
2-2, Shea Theodore.
Thank God. Shea Theodore coming through.
All right.
Which
With Marchand and Bennett on the ice. Look what happens, John Cooper, when you play the Florida Panthers. Good things.
+1.
There you go. See, Ethan swings a positive sense. By the way, David, before you
Oh,
jump
wait.
in with,
Is
go
that
ahead.
going to get looked at? Because
Are they
Marchand
gonna
kind of
review that?
rolled over his back.
Are they going to review this?
Well,
Oh,
we're
God.
real time
boy.
reacting to this, folks.
Oh, my goodness.
And like they're way more sensitive about goalie interference and crease stuff.
Oh, no, he got pushed in. He got pushed in.
That they're gonna
Oh, he
look
was
at
in
it.
the
but-
crease, though.
Anyway, back on topic as we wait to see what happens here. Adnan, the floor is yours. Gush about Macklin Celebrini, please.
What to say? I was just about to relax and my heartbeat returned to normal. Now my heart's back in my throat. Well, I have to wait for Badowski and Roy to give me a replay update.
I think you're
with-
good. I think you're good.
Okay, thank you. I can give a proper answer now. Yeah, Celebrini's been amazing, David. It makes you laugh. Like, how is this even a conversation? Like, how is there even a chance that this guy wasn't going to be a part of this tournament, right? He's been so vital to the team. I would argue he's been their second best player after Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid coming into this tournament, to the game, 12 points with a couple of goals. But Celebrini's been leading with 5 goals, and he's been amazing. And Nate Thompson was making the point on our podcast, NHL Unscripted, that it's kind of like what Ethan was just saying as far as putting Panthers together. You need to have guys who know how to play with each other. And to Celebrini, he's been great. He's willing to acclimate himself. He can go on the wing. He can play different positions. He can take the power play, like whatever he needs. So, it's not as easy as you think just to throw a bunch of collection of talent together. It's not only Celebrini's skill set, but also his ability to mold that skill set to whoever he's playing with. He's been awesome, a revelation. And as you said, for the next 20 years, we're going to be watching him play for Team Canada.
What I love about him, Adnan, is obviously he's super skilled, and we've got plenty of young, super skilled guys in the league right now, and it's very, very exciting. With Connor Bedard, his teammate Will Smith, the guys up in Anaheim. But what I love about Macklin, what we're seeing like bits and pieces of throughout the season, it's not just his skill set, it's his hockey IQ, it's his maturity. And I think back to that play like right before the Olympic break where he got clipped, the ref called a high stick penalty, and he's like, no, he didn't actually hit me. Don't call a penalty that didn't happen, which you never, ever see at this level. Like the kind of integrity that young man is showing, and he's still got so much more growing and maturity to do. That gives me hope, not just as a hockey fan, but as a human being, that there's still some nice, youthful people in the world.
Yeah, and as we've said before, David, like when it comes to the Hart Trophy, like it's interesting conversation because you think, well, it's McDavid, that stretch they went on, he'll be the guy, or maybe it's McKinnon because the Avalanche will probably be the #1 seed. Maybe it's Kucherov, who's perennially overlooked, but he's always going to be in contention for the Art Ross. But then you look at Celebrini and you go, if the Sharks make the playoffs, you can make a legit vote that Macklin Celebrini should be the Hart Trophy winner. I mean, in terms of percentage of points that he's been a part of, he's over 50% of his team's points, more than any other player. And for McDavid, you can say he's got Draisaitl. For McKinnon, you can say he's got Makar. With regards to Celebrini, I mean, he is the San Jose Sharks. You look at that team with respect to Will Smith and others, he's been the guy carrying them. So you're right. Not only is he great right now, but he could be a Hart Trophy winner. It's crazy.
Well, that's the definition of the Hart Trophy. It's the most valuable player to his team. So I completely agree with you. When you look at it in the context of that specific term, it's got to be Macklin Celebrini, because if you pluck him off that Sharks team, they are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
All right, Denny Green.
Yeah.
Good reference, yeah.
All right, Sidney Crosby. This injury apparently was not worst case scenario for Team Canada, according to Emily Kaplan, and they were trying to find a custom brace for him to skate on, according to Elliot Friedman. So
Skate, Sidney, skate.
So that didn't work for Canada, so they held him out in this game. He's going to play in the gold medal game if they get past Finland today.
You heard it here
they're getting
first.
closer. They're getting closer.
Breaking it down.
What you don't think he's going to play the gold medal game? I think he's going to play the gold medal game. You heard it here first.
I think it's a coin flip, Roy. I mean, for them to say initially, as you said, the MRI was not the worst case scenario, but then to rule him out and saying, well, he's not necessarily out of the tournament. I don't think that means he's in for the gold medal game. It just means like they're keeping the door ajar. You're taking that to be like 90% he's in. I'm like, no, I think it means he's like 20% he's in.
Could
Like,
be
they
Paul
have it.
Maurice in this situation.
They had him at 30%.
We'll find out tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes around. Oh, he's week to week. And,
I mean,
There is no week to week at these Olympics. If you're week to
This
week,
is the
you're
last week,
done,
buddy.
dude. It's over. Like,
It's fair to say the NHL, he'd be out for a week or two. That we definitely know. But the Olympics are trying to say, okay, 10% chance. Willis Reed, can you give us a couple of shifts? Is there any point to this? That's, I think, what they're doing.
like Matthew Tkachuk in the Four Nations final. What do you play, like 5 minutes?
Yeah, it'll probably be 13th forward, just like Sam Reinhart was today. But
don't get me started on that.
All right, so that leads me to as we said, week to week. That leads me to the National Hockey League and what Pittsburgh's going to have to do if he is significantly injured. What say you, Adnan? What's going to happen here? Because they're in a playoff chase.
Yeah. I mean, listen, for Pittsburgh, it would be absolutely brutal, right? Because as you said, no one was expecting this team really to be a playoff team, and they're in that hunt. So if Crosby's out for an extended period of time, and again, if this was the NHL regular season, I think we all know he'd be out for a week or two. A week or two can doom a team. Like it was so incredibly tight for much of this regular season, and then finally we saw some separation a week or two before the Olympic break. But all of a sudden now, if you go like an 0-3-1 stretch, like Pittsburgh would be in real trouble. And Crosby's been so vital to this team. So this is truly that worst case scenario. You say, okay, it's so much fun. Oh, we get to watch Olympic hockey at a national level. But there's only 7 of 32 teams that are really being accounted for, right? If you look at the number of players playing in the Olympics versus everybody staying at home, 25 of the 32 are just hanging out, right? Go get some sun, relax, do what you got to do. Those players took that risk by going there, and I can imagine for that Penguins fan base or for Kyle Dubas specifically, he's irate, he's outraged, but this is the risk that you take.
Fun fact, Roy, Pittsburgh is the worst shootout team in the NHL at 1-7.
Yeah, he's not exactly open things, I guess.
Just trying to give you something. Just trying to give you a little something before you move on. That's all.
Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate you doing that, Seth. We had this idea of creating a hockey team and rostering characters from TV shows and movies, and this week's choice was Family Guy. And right now it's going to be David and Adnan doing the teams because I actually don't watch Family Guy.
Well,
And nobody included me on the joke.
As we get more into this, I think we should maybe the communication will be a little bit better.
Yeah.
The idea was fun. We talked about doing it with Sopranos characters, so there's something good there. But this week, it's just me and Adnan.
All right, so let's start. We're going to do the starters here, the 5 position players and goaltender. Why don't you start there, David?
What position would you like me to start with?
You're a goaltender. Might as well go with the guy in the net.
Lead with net. Fine. I'm putting Peter Griffin in goal, Adnan.
Because
As long as he shows up to the game sober, he's actually quite good between the pipes. Granted, much of that space he's taking up with his massive frame, but every so often, a Greg Goldberg comes along and defies the laws of gravity by being a chubby goalie with ridiculous reflexes that can stop the puck. That's my Peter Griffin.
Put the sumo wrestler in goal strategy.
Here, what was the giant sea lion from that commercial?
The walrus.
Yeah, the walrus.
Commercial.
I think it's almost like he's deceptively athletic. Like at the very least, he's a big guy, so I think he can stop the puck. But I'm with you. If you've watched enough Family Guy, he's pretty nimble at times. Peter Griffin can get around a little bit, kick saving a beauty. I think he can stop the 5-hole. And quite honestly, I'm not going to put him anywhere else. Like maybe he's a lumbering defenseman, but I think a goalie is the right choice for Peter Griffin.
Lumbering defenseman.
Is that also your goalie?
He's my goalie as well.
Oh,
I did not have Adnan down as a Family Guy.
Oh,
guy.
come on.
Mark Stahl.
I'm not, to be honest with you, but I just threw it out there. When he sent to me a show, I said it's not a Family Guy.
All right.
But I don't actually.
That's perfect.
All right, go ahead. Adnan, what's your goaltender?
I was
No,
going to say,
it's
David carried the same with the rest of the way because really all I know about the next one is Stewie. Because I love Stewie. He's unbelievable. I mean, he was a homicidal baby. So to me, he's my centerman. Like, I want him taking face-offs. I think he's great and intimidating the opposition. I think he's a kamikaze in there. I think he goes in the corners. I think he fights. I think he's going to play me 30 minutes tonight. I'll double shift him late. His energy is off the charts.
Wow.
Stewie's my center.
See, I got Stewie as my coach.
Coach?
Because he's a war general. He knows how to direct players. He knows how to conquer things. So I had Stewie coaching. But my top line center, it's Glenn Quagmire. Plays like Barkov, looks like Tom Wilson. He's fast. He's got hands like a magician. He can take off a woman's bra in less than a half a second. He's got this sneaky acceleration.
Right there.
Defenders never see him coming. Sneaks up behind, streaking forwards. Glenn Quagmire is my guy.
Charlie McAvoy with his chin all beat up kind of looks like Quagmire right now.
No, but Tom Wilson has those cheeks. He looks like a chipmunk.
That's a tremendous Quagmire reference. I want to mention on defense, I've got Brian. I think, listen, we all know that a dog is a man's best friend, and in this case, a goalie's best friend, Peter Griffin's best friend, is Brian. If you got a dog back there ready to go, there's a dog in the fight. He's the guy. Ethan's holding his hand up.
No, I just love it. Amazing analysis. Dog is man's best friend. He's a goalie's best friend.
There you
Just amazing analysis.
Solid logic.
Yeah, but he's not a fighter because
So
he got
well
his ass
thought
kicked
out.
by Stewie. So
Yeah. Rounding out my forwards, I got on the left side, I got grease stuff, deaf guy, easy choice, impossible to cover, slimy on the boards, just real good around the net. On the right side, I wanted a Matthew Tkachuk type from my right wing, a sweetheart off the ice, but a nightmare inside the boards. That's Cleveland Brown. There's a reason that he's the low-key tough guy in Peter Griffin's friends group, and that's because it's Cleveland.
I mean, Cleveland's a great choice. I mean, to me, I want a forward. I want Meg in there. I thought you were going to go like sweet, like, sweet off the ice, tough on the ice. I think I've got Meg as my left winger. I think she's in there. If she's willing to get dirty if need be. I think Meg is again women's hockey. I want some representation of my team, so I'm putting Meg as one of my forwards.
I got Meg as my right D. Basically, Radko Gudas without the beard on the ice. Decent skater, impossible to get around, heavy shot, surprisingly physical. But that's definitely one of the female representation. And then as my lefty, I've got Mr. Herbert. Is there anyone better at tracking their prey or anyone with a sneakier quickness than that old pervert, Mr. Herbert? Plays through injuries, and he's like the Terminator when he's got his eyes on you and he's pursuing you.
I mean, no one's going to top that. I'll just mention that Lois is Brian's D partner. I'll just leave it at that. I just need to round out my rest of my starting five. Ultimately, Quagmire was your best choice. I want to make Quagmire now my coach. That's pretty funny.
Oh my God!
So is that your entire roster?
That's it. That's our Family Guy hockey roster.
All right, Rosie.
Mine might end up in jail.
Rosie, you have a movie question before we get out of here.
Before you go, have you watched Wuthering Heights?
I haven't. My wife went and saw it with her girlfriends. It was a huge hit at the box office, Rosie. $84 million, which is massive.
Is that the one with Margot Robbie?
Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi. Yeah, I love the book, Rosie. I read it years ago when I was in college. We had to read it in American literature.
Me too.
Heathcliff, the tortured hero, he's headbutting trees and stuff. It's great. I did really enjoy the book. But to be honest with you, I wasn't upset that she went with her girlfriends. I wasn't like rushing it to see Wuthering Heights. I'll see it at some point. I'm not crazy about Emerald Fennell. I like the cast. I like both those actors, but I really didn't like Saltburn. I was really opinionated about
hated Saltburn.
Yeah, so it's the same director, right? Emerald Fennell. So I'm not really crazy about her stuff.
Yeah, when people were like, "Hey, I read the book and everything," I read the book. I don't care about the book. I don't care about the story. I just want to go see Jacob Elordi. And when I saw that it was Jacob Elordi,
well,
Smut is having a moment, Roy. Smut is having a moment. Listen, heated rivalry, Wuthering Heights.
no.
it's funny you mentioned that because a friend of mine saw it, Rosie, and I just said, "Hey, is Margot Robbie getting any of that?" And he goes, "No," and nor from Jacob Elordi. And I started laughing. I go, "I'm glad you pointed it went both ways." He goes, "Yes," because neither of them were naked at any point in the movie. He goes, "There's quite a bit of filth in there, but neither Elordi or Margot Robbie."
See, that's an important question, Adnan. I appreciate you asking those.
No, but just watching him in his white shirt under the rain, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm in."
Can we let Adnan go? There's under 4 minutes left in a tie game in the semifinals of the Olympics. Like, let's let Adnan go.
Jacob Elordi.
Go watch the game, Adnan. We love you.
Adnan, before you leave, what's your next assignment in, I guess, 2 weeks?
Yeah, Amazon Prime returns March 2nd. That's right. Flyers and Leafs. So look forward to that game, although unfortunately both those teams look like they're not going to make the playoffs. We thought it'd be a good game at the start of the season, but it'll be a chance to see hopefully Travis Sanheim, gold medalist for Team Canada, back playing in Toronto. We'll see.
All right, so there you go. That's Adnan's next assignment. He works for Prime Monday Night Hockey. Adnan Burke, thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you, guys. Jacob Elordi, by the way, nominated for Best Supporting Actor. So I'm sure that Rosie's all over Frankenstein as well, available on Netflix. Go Canada.
Yeah, I haven't watched
Deep breaths,
Frankenstein,
Adnan.
but Jacob Elordi. Woo!
Deep breaths, brother.